Now that the closed beta has begun, many players around the world finally have access to 2xKO. There are currently 9 characters available to play, but more are on the way. So today on Game Rant, let's talk about League of Legends champs who deserve a spot on this fighting games roster. First up is Katarina. This one is a pretty easy pick because she actually showed up in one of the first builds of the game, way back when it was called Project L. As an extremely mobile assassin in League, I believe she'd work perfectly as a glass cannon who can poke from afar, but use those pokes to go in and deal some pretty heavy damage. This can work by playing off of her bouncing blade. In League, she's able to throw a dagger at an opponent. After it hits, it ricochets and lands on the floor. Then if she picks it up, she slashes through nearby enemies. In 2xKO, her dagger throw can be her main projectile, and if it hits, she can do another attack to blink to the target and continue the combo. Perhaps the move she does when she blinks can be reliant on the button pressed. For example, one can be an overhead attack while the other can be a low hit. If the dagger is blocked, it can ricochet like in League and fall near the opponent. Then she can use the blink to try to engage. All this would definitely retain how she feels in League, and would no doubt make her an interesting character to play. Second on our list is the fighter Sett. In the lore, he was once a strong contender within the fighting pits of Navori, and that's seen in League with his scrappy Street Fighter vibe. So it only makes sense to put him in Riot's first fighting game. But how would he work? Well, since his skills involve strikes and grapples, I believe he could be a cool fusion of Vi and Blitzcrank, a beefy, pressure-heavy striker who has a few command grabs to help with rushing the enemy down. In League, he passively stores damage as Grit, and can expend that Grit using his skill Haymaker. In 2xKO, this can be transferred by giving him a separate meter dedicated to Grit. Haymaker can be one of his supers that deals damage based on how much Grit he has. However, to stop him from being a character who needs to take damage, perhaps he can still gain Grit from blocking and doing certain moves. As for his ultimate, this can be a one-to-one transfer. However, it could be used to carry enemies to the corner, so he could put them in an even tougher spot. In third, we have Udyr. In League, this Spirit Walker attacks by switching between stances. Each one grants specific buffs and even more rewards upon recast. In 2xKO, he could be a stance-based fighter similar to Yasuo, and each stance can grant him a specific move and slightly alter how he works. For example, Wilding Claw can make him faster and give him more combo potential. However, Iron Mantle can be more defensive and grant him super armor for certain attacks. It could even provide him with a counter ability. The downside to this is that it would make learning Udyr pretty difficult, since he has 4 stances, but the payoff would be immense. Imagine mixing your opponents at Kingdom Come while the aura of different spirits surround you. You'd literally be aura farming while hitting sick combos. Second, we have Viktor. This one is for the zoners. So far, Jinx is the only one within the roster, so why not add Viktor as another? Outside of making him a master of spacing with multiple lasers and other tech, I feel the most important tool to carry over from League is his passive, Glorious Evolution. With it, he gains hex fragments with each enemy he kills. Once at 100, his abilities are augmented. For 2xKO, he can gain these hex fragments by dealing damage to the opponent. Then once he has 100, he can choose which augmented attack to use depending on the situation. Maybe he does his augmented ultimate for more damage, or maybe another ability to extend a combo. Another reason to add him is because of Arcane, the hit animated show based in the world of League. We already got Vi, Jinx, and Echo who are main characters in the series. Viktor played a pivotal role too, so why not add him? And last but certainly not least, we have Warwick. As one of the first champions in League of Legends, as well as an important character in Arcane Season 2, the Uncaged Wrath of Zaun deserves to be in 2xKO. In League, he is a hunter who chases down opponents and gets stronger as his prey gets weaker. However, a mechanic like that may be a little broken in a fighting game. So here's my proposition. Warwick should be a rushdown character, very similar to Wolverine in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. However, his W, Blood Hunt, should be a super instead. It could work as a transformation that increases his speed, attack, and alters some of his moves. However, the caveat would be that he's unable to block in this form. This would make Warwick the offensive force of nature that we all know him as in League. However, only those who are capable of putting on overwhelming pressure would be able to use him to the best of his ability. Sounds right for the Wrath of Zaun. But that's my wish list of characters that I hope to see in 2xKO. Are you playing the closed beta? Drop the characters you'd love to see in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy gaming.